Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yoni Kim Tirvadam Vijay Guru Punjamo Hadastadharani Pranaya Vene Asmad Guru Bhagavato Siddhai Kasindho Ramajasya Charano Sharam Gurudhi. Smaramatrena Dvaitavasana Pramachate Madhatmakaya Namaskasam Gurudeshe Ramanamarshi Hridakashe Sada Bhantam Shantamananda Rupinam Yanabharmaham Vande Sadgurum Shri Sathya Sairam Mama Taryaminam. Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varan Nibodhata. Since the Kathopanishad. Uttishtata Jagrata Prapya Varan Nibodhata. Arise, awake, and attain that goal, attain that knowledge from those who have attained it. Before this precious life comes to an end, make every effort to arise, to awake, and to attain that truth from those who have attained it. Those who are agitated by doubts about what to accept and what to reject. Those who are blinded by illusion, and those who cannot distinguish between darkness and light, between death and immortality. All these should approach the great people who can show the path to understanding this eternal truth. For the sake of this realization, one should have a deep yearning and hard and disciplined practice. The human birth is a consequence of births filled with good deeds. And therefore it should not be cast aside, it should not be wasted. This chance should be fully exploited. Swami quotes here from the Kena Upanishad. If this is known, if this truth is known, yadi avadin, yadi iha avadin, if this truth is known here itself, satyamasti, then here itself we will attain the highest. But nachet, but if it is not, nachet iha avadin, mahati vinashti. Nachet avadin, in case it is not known, it is a great loss. Life itself is a great loss if this truth is not known, says the Upanishad. Therefore, one has to make every effort to get this truth when there are many chances of saving oneself. Is it not a great loss if no thought is spent on escaping? Paths are many. So many different methods are there to liberate oneself. Guides aplenty, books galore. In all these manner, there is so many ways in which we can get out of this trap. Should we not pay attention then to think about how to get out of it and make every effort towards it? For all those who are really animals in human form, slaves of pride and animal traits, this awareness in time is most important. Delay is fruitless. It is silly to start digging a well after the house catches fire. Therefore, the discriminating individual will make an endeavor by all means at their disposal to understand the underlying principles, to master the great teachings that the Mahapurushas and the Mahatmas, the Jnanis and the Gurus are showing us, that they had themselves have practiced. And then they bring it to us. This we must bring as much as possible into our own direct experience. Discarding this path and wasting one's life is an insult to the very name of the human species. Jantunam Narajanma Turlapam. Amongst all living creatures, being born as a human is indeed the rarest of opportunities. Should that not be put to good use? Instead of getting enslaved to the evanescent and the false, instead of wasting time, precious time in the pursuit of the transitory, dedicate every moment to discovering the truth and contemplating upon the everlasting, the ever true Lord. Such dedication is the function and the purpose of your life. On the other hand, spending time to pursue and satisfy the illusory appetites is the drag of the world. One should not fall victim to the poisonous attractions of mere worldly luxuries or the wiles of seductive beauty. One day, all these fascinating scenes will vanish like a dream. Education and other things that make one grow and become big are of no use to spiritual progress. They bring only spiritual downfall. That is why this is called Maya Prapancha. We are giving so much importance to education. Most parents are losing sleep over which school to put their child in, what course to dedicate them in, what extracurricular activities they can give and so on. But no effort is being made to put them into the spiritual path. The amount of money and the amount of time and the amount of effort that the parents are spending to make sure that the child is studying well is even a quarter fraction of that being spent to make sure that the child is doing some spiritual sadhana. Each parent should ask themselves this question. You will make sure that all their needs, educational needs are met for them. What about their spiritual needs? You will make sure that they have the best computer. You will make sure that they have the best laptops and calculators and pencil boxes and whatnots. Have you given them a japamala? Have you ever bought a japamala for your child and given? You will buy pencil box, geometry box, computer, laptop, everything you will buy. What about a japamala? What about a Bhagavad Gita copy? Which parent has ever done it? And you claim and you call yourself parents? Dogs are better than you. Because even dogs do what is right by their children. You don't do what is right by your children. Because dogs, whatever the mother dog does is enough for the dog. But should parents, human parents, do the same thing that a mother dog will do for her puppy? Should we not do anything better? And you think about it and tell me, how many things have you provided for their spiritual welfare? How much effort have you taken for their spiritual welfare? Zero. Why? You yourself don't have any knowledge of your spiritual welfare. You yourself don't have a japamala in your house. You yourself don't have any sacred books in your house. Then where will you buy and give it to them? The mother uses makeup, so as soon as the child turns 12, she'll give makeup to the child. That is all she does. The father drinks beer, so as soon as the child turns 16, he says, you have one. That is all they know. What is the use of such misery? What is the use of you having children? Actually, to put it quite bluntly, you could have been sterile. You could have been neutered actually. Like, dogs and cats are done. No? You should have gone to some place and got yourself neutered instead of burdening the world with children. Because you don't know how to bring them up. What is the use of such an existence? You must follow, you must practice, and you must give that to your children. All these things of this world, education and other things of this world that makes one become big in this world, all are of no use in spiritual progress. In fact, Swami says, they only bring about spiritual downfall. Why? If the fundamental spiritual truth is not injected into their children, then they will think this alone is important and go the same way. Once again, they will follow and fall into the same trap. World is important. Why? You told them world is important. On the one hand, you will say, no, only God. But then, study well. Better get good marks. Better pay attention to this. Even if you don't attend bhajans, it is okay. But you better do your assignment. What impression will the child get? Oh, that means when it comes to a push, I can forget my bhajan, but I have to do assignment. That is the message they will get. No? Even during satsang, I will sit and do homework. What will it show? What does it show up? That means homework is more important than satsang. Satsang is a side story. Isn't it? When other times you are doing some work, homework or something, will you place satsang in the background? You won't. That time will only for this. When satsang goes, homework will come. What is it? What are you implementing? What are you showing to your children by doing that? You are telling them that this is more important, but because we can't let go of satsang, let it play in the background. This is the sad state of even so-called spiritual parents. That is why I call so-called. Not real spiritual. It is life. You must understand God alone is the most important thing, priority in life. After that has been satisfied or enough time has been dedicated to that, the rest of the time can be given to the worldly things. When we were in Prashanti, I've told the story so many times, if exams are coming and the boys are studying, Swami will stop darshan. You study. Why do you need darshan? That is more important to you, study. In Bharti also, from year 1 to year 12 was there, and thereafter university was there all the way up to MBA and MTech and PhD and whatnot. There also studying was there, there also work was there. But there was some time that Swami said, you have to focus on the truth. What is the use of focusing merely on all of these breadwinning education? How does it matter? Even if you don't get top marks in that, how does it matter? Should you not get top marks in this? There was one boy, who got gold medal. So the Vice Chancellor was saying, sorry, that boy got gold. No, he didn't get gold medal. I said, he didn't get. No, sorry, this is the boy who got gold medal. No, he didn't get gold medal. He is the one who got gold medal. Swami said, maybe in your college he got gold medal. In my college he didn't get gold medal. Swami said, maybe in your college he got gold medal. In my university he did not get gold medal. What is the difference? How does my university? Is Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning not his university? No. His university is Sathya Sai Institute of the Highest Learning. Swami's university was the University of Prema Vahini. They got good marks. Any idiot will get good marks. You think geniuses get good marks? Any idiot will get good marks. All he has to do is cram and vomit. He'll get good marks. What is the big deal? Going within, understanding the truth, making efforts to attain the truth, showing dedication and sincerity in finding the truth. That is the mark of a genius. Not getting success in the worldly endeavors. All of that is simply Maya Prapancha, falsehood, illusion. In that illusion, we are spending so much time. Duty has to be done, but not at the cost of God. Our first duty is towards God. Atma Dharma. Thereafter only Deha Dharma. The characteristic of a sadhaka is the attainment of the truth, not the search of the unreal in this evanescent world. In this false world, there can be no satyachara, no true living. There can only be mithyachara, false living. True living consists only in the realization of the Lord. This must be borne in mind by everyone, every moment of their life. There is a difference, Swami says, there is a difference between the ordinary man and the sadhaka. Sahaja, a sahaja life, a normal life, and a sadhaka's life are two different things. The sahaja vyakti, the ordinary man, the natural person, has no sahana, no fortitude. He has only ahankara. He is filled with desires related to this world, by which he is trying to have a contented experience in this life. He is trying to fulfill all his desires and trying to, or rather understanding that is real contentment. Sadhakas, on the other hand, are engaged in the constant contemplation of the Sarveshwara, of the Supreme Eternal Lord. How, Abdina? As ceaselessly as the waves of the ocean. And they accumulate wealth. They also accumulate wealth. What wealth, Abdina? The wealth of equality, the wealth of equal love for all. Samatvam. That is the wealth they are trying to accumulate. Equanimity, equality. They are content in the thought that everything belongs to him, nothing is mine. This is the difference. The ordinary man is trying to become content by accumulating things. Oh, I have fulfilled all my needs. I have met my needs. I am content. Sadhaka, on the other hand, is saying, everything belongs to him. I am content. Nothing is mine. Unlike the ordinary person, the sadhaka will not bend easily before grief or loss, anger or hatred or selfishness, hunger, thirst or fickleness. One should master all the above good things as much as possible and journey through life with fortitude, courage, joy, peace, charity and humility. realizing that tending to the body is not all important. One has to bear even hunger and thirst patiently and still be engaged uninterruptedly in the contemplation of the Lord. Quarreling at every tiny little thing, losing one's temper, becoming sad at the slightest teasing or provocation, getting angry at the smallest insult, being worried by thirst, hunger, by loss of sleep, these cannot be the characteristics of a sadhaka. Quarreling at the slightest thing, losing one's temper, becoming sad at even the smallest provocation, getting angry at the slightest insult, being unduly affected by even hunger, thirst, or not having sleep, etc., worried by all of these things, these cannot be the characteristics of a devotee. Ramana Bhagavan, in the early days, when he recounted the early days in the mountain, when he had come to Tiruvannamalai, many people knew him, there was no ashrama. He would say, sometimes there was no food. When the days there was no food, we used to tell ourselves, today is Ekadashi. We used to fast. Then food will come. We will say, oh, today is Dwadashi, we will eat. Oh. Bhagavan has given food today. Bhagavan did not give food today. That is fine. Amringraur. Attitude. That is the attitude of the sadhu and the sadhaka. Even to food. Food is such a basic necessity. In fact, we do not know what it means to be hungry. Now we are living in the lap of luxury. We do not know what it is to be hungry. Before we are hungry, we eat. Think about Sri Lanka right now. I was told even middle class families in Sri Lanka already cut down from 3 meals to 2 meals. They have cut down from 3 meals to 2 meals. They can't afford. It is so costly. There is no gas to cook. They are cooking with wood in the outside the house. Even normal house people. We cannot even imagine doing that, no? But there is no fuel. What do? So they cut branches and trees and so on, and they have wood fire. And they cook 2 meals only. They cannot have enough to cook 3 meals. We don't even know what that kind of situation is. We are in the lap of luxury. That is why we don't know how to focus on God also. We don't know. We have not suffered deprivation, so we do not know what it means. Rice in its natural state is not edible. It is hard. Can we eat it? But the rice in its cooked state is soft, it is harmless, and it is sweet and nutritious to us to eat. Like that, the ordinary person who is not tempered by the fires of sadhana is like the raw rice. He is hard and conceited and full of delusion. But the sadhaka is getting pakvam, is getting cooked, is becoming soft, is becoming sweet. There has to be some change in us, some transformation in us for the sadhana that we are doing. Don't kid yourself. Do not fool yourself. I will tell you very clearly, it is not easy to attain moksha. It is not easy to attain jnana. Don't think simply listening to satsang without missing even a single session is enough. It is not enough. There has to be a one-pointed shraddha. Intense shraddha should be there. Intense yearning should be there. The thought of God should not leave your consciousness. If you have not attained this state, then you have no hope or scope of attaining realization. First attain this state. First make every attempt and effort possible to attaining this state. Without doing this, what are you wasting your time for? What if you drop dead tomorrow? Do you have any consciousness of that? We saw in COVID. We saw in the pandemic. It went around like the grim reaper. People who thought they will be living all went away. They are gone. Finished. Maybe they thought they will do sadhana later. What happened? One small virus was enough to bring all of those things to a complete crash. Where is the yearning? Where is the sincerity? Where is the life of a sadhaka? Where is the fire? Without that fire, how can this rice be cooked? Both types of jivatmas are involved in some maya or the other, Swami says. Avidya maya and vidya maya. External delusion, avidya maya. Internal delusion, vidya maya. Even sadhaka is in vidya maya only, but at least it is better. Avidya Maya is even worse. Avidya Maya is the Maya of the world where you think the things of this world are important. Where is renunciation in the heart? Where is renunciation in practice? If you still hanker for all the petty pleasures of this world and keep running behind them, then what right do you have to call yourself a sadhaka? Where is vairagyam in you? Where is tyaga in you? Where is renunciation in you? Better than avidya maya, at least is vidya maya. But when we get rid of vidya maya also, then Bhagavan, who is free from all maya, mayatita, he will come and reside in the heart of the person who has gotten rid of maya. Such a person himself can be called God, Swami says. Such a person's heart becomes the seat of God. He can be termed a God. Though, of course, the Lord is situated in every heart. It is not that He is situated in the hearts only of jnanis. He is seated in the hearts of all. But even though He is seated in every heart, sadhana is necessary so that you may discover it for yourself. Is it possible for you to see your own face? Do you not need a mirror to see your own face? Like that, a basic path, a marga, a spiritual practice is necessary so that you can transcend the gunas, transcend this maya and attain the truth. In this world, Swami says here, in this world, there is no greater tapas than fortitude, forbearance, orpu. Swami is using the word orpu for it. Orpu karna, tapassu ledu. Santripti karna sukhamu ledu. There is no greater happiness than contentment. And there is no greater punya than acts of mercy. And no weapon more effective than kshama or patience, forbearance, putting up with things. Devotee should consider the body as a field, and good deeds are sown here as seeds. Cultivate the name of the Lord with the help of the heart as the farmer in order to get the harvest, which is Lord Himself. And the next bit is what came today as thought for the day in Sai Inspires. It was this section from Prema Vahini. Like cream and milk and fire and fuel, the Lord is in everything. Have full faith in this. As is the milk, so is the butter. As is the fuel, so is the fire. So also, as is your sadhana, so is your sakshatkara, your direct realization of the truth. Even if attainment of liberation isn't directly realized as a consequence of taking up the Lord's name, 4 fruits are clearly evident to those who have had the experience. These 4 are satsanga, Sathya, Santrupti and Samyama. Satsanga, the company of the wise and the great, the holy. Truth, Satya, truth. Contentment, Santrupti. And Samyama, the control of the senses. Through whichever one of these gates one enters, whether he is a householder or he is a sannyasi, he can reach the Lord without fail. But one of these 4 has to be sincerely adhered to the Vasishta, Yoga Vasishta. Vasishta speaks about these 4 and he calls them the gates to moksha. Gatekeepers to moksha, he says. Even if you befriend any one of them, they will open the gate to moksha. People crave worldly happiness. If you analyze it properly, this craving itself is a disease. This craving for worldly happiness is a disease. And the sufferings that we undergo because of these cravings are the drugs that we take or the medicines that we take for this. It's funny. What is the medicine for this craving now? Suffering. The more you crave for something in the world, the more you suffer. The more you want something, the more you are on tenterhooks. Whether it happens, whether will it happen, will it come? Doesn't matter. It's easy, isn't it? For everything, we say, okay, doesn't matter. It's so easy. How will it not matter? In 2 ways, it will not matter. 1, if you have enough vairagya, it doesn't matter. 2, if you have enough faith in Him, it doesn't matter because He will look after it. Doesn't matter, He will look after it. We don't have to worry. Or you have enough vairagya, it doesn't matter, even if it doesn't happen, it's fine, I'm okay. You let it go. Either way, one of these 2 if you have, then certainly you can remain happy. But most people are, unfortunately, as Swami says here, craving only worldly happiness, which itself is a great disease, bhavaroga. In the midst of these worldly pleasures, one rarely entertains the thought or the desire to attain God. Besides, it is necessary to analyze and discriminate every act, for the spirit of renunciation is only born out of such analysis. Vairagya is born only when you apply viveka. Without it, renunciation is very difficult. You look at all the dukkha in this world, you look at the utter futility of all your efforts in this world, then will you not realize what a useless thing it is? Nobody analyzes this. Swami is making a very beautiful, valid point here. Swami is drawing our attention to something very important. We do not take our normal experiences in life more than mere, it's an experience, I experienced it, joy, sorrow, move on. No, mananam is not done. Nobody is analyzing it. Dukkha, what is there in life other than dukkha? Pain in every way, problems in every way. Here and there, joy is there. I am not saying joy is not there. For how long is that joy there? Abada, nothing happened today, everything is fine. Tomorrow phone call comes. This problem. Somebody calls you and says, there's a problem. Isn't it not happening repeatedly? One day phone call, something good happened today. Next day phone call, something terrible happened today. You yourself will have it. I am saying even if you don't have it, somebody will call you and tell you. Otherwise, you yourself, today was a nice day. Then next day, something will go wrong. Some leak will be there. Some current defect, plumbing, some defect will go. Or body will have some pain. Wow, how useless it is. But who's thinking? Who's thinking about it? What is the use of experiencing without thinking? One has to think about it. One has to analyze and then get vairagya out of it. One has to look at our own behavior. Swami is talking about some things here. Lobha, miserliness, is like the behavior of a dog. It has to be transformed. Dog in the manger, we hear the story. That behavior has to go. Anger is like spit. It has to be discarded. It has to be treated like that. And lies, untruth, that is even more disgusting. Swami says, when you lie, your prana itself is destroyed. The vital force, the vital energy in the body itself is destroyed every time we deceive, we cheat or we lie with untruth. It should be treated as rubbish. Theft ruins lives. It makes priceless human life cheap, very cheap. It is rotten, foul smelling flesh. Theft. We are not thieving. No, we are not going to go commit theft. But what is theft? Taking credit for what is not yours is theft. Whose is this world? It is his. If you say it is yours, that is thieving of you. What is you need not think, I am not breaking into houses. This doesn't apply to me. Everything Swami writes applies to you. To everybody. Untruth is not merely telling lies. Taking this unreal to be real, it's also untruth only. Taking the false world to be real and acting as though it is real is also untruth. Taking things that do not belong to you. Everything belongs to Bhagavan. Everything belongs to Ishvara. Considering all of those things as our own, mine is a sin. When you say something belongs to me, you are committing a sin there. It doesn't belong to you, it is his. So giving up all of these things, instead how should we live? Moderate food, moderate sleep, prema in the heart, fortitude, forbearance. These will help in the upkeep of health of both the body and the mind. Whoever one may be, wherever they may be, in whatever condition they may be, if they do not give any room for dispiritedness, if one has no fear at all, and if one remembers the Lord with unshaken faith and devotion, without any ulterior motive, then all suffering and sorrow will fall away. Beautiful words of Swami. These are Sai Vaka, Sathya Vaka. These words of Swami are absolute truth. You must understand. Not a trace of it can be false. You can't just listen and once again listen to it. Whoever you may be, wherever you may be, in whatsoever condition you may be, if you don't give way to dispiritedness, nirutsaha, have enthusiasm in your heart. Do not lose your enthusiasm. No fear at all. You give up all fear. On what basis should you give up fear? His promise. Why fear when I am here? I fear when I am here is after Swami has said. Then where is the need for us to have fear? No fear. Swami is here. If at all fear comes because of old habits, what should he say? Swami is here. No fear. Swami is with me. Or if you feel, Swami, are you not with me? Come with me, Swami. I mean, imagine you're holding Swami's hand. How can there be fear in you? Imagine that you're holding Swami's hand and walking with him. If you remember him with unshaken faith, without any ulterior motive, without any selfish desire, remember him because he is love itself. Remember him because he is beauty itself. Remember him because he is truth itself, not because he is somebody who can do favors to you. He deserves better remembrance than that. With unshaken faith, without any ulterior motive, if you can remember him and not give way to dispiritedness or fear, then no sorrow, no grief, no suffering can touch you. Everything will fall away. Bhakti does not require wearing Kashaya Vastram, sannyasi clothes. You don't have to organize big festivals or perform ritual sacrifices. You don't have to shave your hair or carry a Dandakamandalu in your hand. Nor do you have to mat your locks and go through that kind of suffering. Instead, the characteristics, the lakshana of a bhakta are only these. Pure antakarana. Pure inner space, pure antakarana, inner instruments are purified by becoming devoid of selfishness. Uninterrupted contemplation of God no matter what you are doing. Edi chesina, ellapadu. Swami was talking to a devotee and said, see, when you are sitting in front of me, how much ananda you have. How much ananda you have. But if you can elongate this ananda, you are sitting in front of me for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. For 30 minutes you have so much ananda. But after you go away, you lose that ananda. But if you can extend or elongate this itself, then will it not be always there? Then, how to do that? How do you elongate? Whatever you do, you consider it as, Swami, I am doing this for you. Whatever work you have got to do, Swami, I am doing this for you. You are cooking, Swami, I am cooking for you. Talk to him. Be in his presence by talking to him. Start talking to him. You're cooking, talk to him while cooking. If you're cleaning, talk to him while cleaning. If you're doing some work, if you're doing studies, talk to him while studying. If there is a problem that you cannot solve, Swami, what kind of problem is this? How do we solve it? Come, Swami, help me. Let us do it together. Whatever work you are doing, if you are at work, you are a doctor, the patients are coming, Swami, another patient, you better be careful. Let us see what you are doing. If you talk to him, engage with the Lord, then that way you can elongate or extend the period of time that you are spending with him and enjoy and experience the same ananda. Methods are plenty. So many ways, shortcuts Swami keeps on giving. It is a fight between God and us. A great war between God and us. And so far we are winning. What is the war now? God is somehow or the other trying to make us happy. We are resisting him. We are fighting with him. He is inventing newer and newer methods. We are still refusing to take any of those methods, being stubborn and pig-headed as we are. He is not Varaha. We are only Varaha. Varaha Avataram has a pig head. But we have a big head, big head. Characteristics of bhakti are a pure inner space, antakarana, uninterrupted contemplation on God no matter what you are doing. The feeling that everything is His and therefore non-attachment to sense objects. Instead, embracing everything with equal prema and dedication to true speech. These are the characteristics of bhakta. Inner purity, uninterrupted contemplation. In fact, uninterrupted contemplation cannot happen if purity is not there. Ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhihi sattva shuddhau dirgha smriti. Upanishad says that when the inner space is pure, then you can uninterruptedly contemplate on Him. If you are not able to contemplate on Him, that is because all your attention, you have not paid enough attention to what is on your plate. You cannot contemplate on Him because your plate is filled with rubbish. You are eating rubbish. So there is no ahara shuddhi. Therefore there is no sattva shuddhi. There is therefore no dirgha smriti. You are constantly talking about contemplate. Food plate. All kinds of rubbish we take in. Plate naga, not merely the food that you eat. Several times I've akhriyate aharaha. What you see, what you hear, what you consume through all of your senses, all of that is also food. That food is not pure. That food is merely to cater to your likes and dislikes, not for wholesomeness, not for spiritual welfare. Therefore, I am not able to think of Him all the time. And knowing that everything belongs to Him, not being attached to anything, therefore, because nothing is yours, everything is His. And having equal love for everything, because you cannot have special love for some things alone, thinking this is mine. Everything is His. The mari or samatva, equanimity. But of the various types of devotion, remembrance of the name is the best. Especially this Kali Yuga, the name is the path for saving oneself. Jayadeva, Gauranga, Tyagaraja, Tukaram, Kabir, Ramadas, all these great devotees attained the Lord only through just this one practice. Why speak of 1,000 things? Even Dhruva and Prahalada were able to enjoy the darshan, sparshan and sambhashan of the Lord only through the repetition of the name. There can be no better path to mukti than considering the name of the Lord as the very life breath itself, and with complete faith in doing good and developing good thoughts and good deeds, developing the spirit of service and equal love towards all. This is the best path for liberation. That's what Swami is saying here. The best path for liberation is considering that the name is one's very life breath, engaging oneself in good thoughts and good deeds, developing the spirit of service. Instead of this, even if you choose a corner to sit holding your breath, how can you get rid of your inner vasanas, inner qualities? Swami is narrating the example, giving the example of Ambarisha and Durvasa. Ambarisha was the king. Durvasa was the sage. Ambarisha was in the midst of the kingdom, ruling the kingdom, but constantly dedicating himself to serving the Lord. Lips were constantly chanting the name of the Lord. Eyes were engaged in beholding the beautiful form of the Lord. Hands were engaged in serving the Lord. Feet were engaged in going to the temple of the Lord. Ears were engaged in listening to the stories of the Lord. In this manner, all the Dashendriyas were involved only with God. Durvasa, on the other hand, was sitting and doing tapasya in a corner. But when Durvasa came into society, his anger came along with him. His ego came along with him. Ambarisha, on the other hand, had no ego, he had no anger. So consider the devotion of Ambarisha and the actions of Durvasa. At least in the end, Durvasa could fall at the feet of Ambarisha and was able to escape from that fate. At least in the end, Durvasa had an opportunity. But Swami gives another example. There was another fellow who had no hope, Trishanku. Swami says, may you avoid becoming such Trishankus. Instead, may you experience eternal truth and achieve the genuine state. We know what happened to Trishanku. He wanted to go to heaven in his body. In the end, he is still now suspended upside down, neither there nor here. So we should avoid having such a fate. To do that, what should we do? Constantly call out the name of the Lord so that we are able to develop a connection with Him. Swami has again many times told us how we should call out the name, how we should not call out the name. Do not call out the name mechanically. Call out the name after establishing a relationship with Swami. Every person is liable to committing mistakes, knowingly or unknowingly. However bright the fire or light, some smoke can come from it. So also, no matter how much a good deed you may do, it might still be mixed with minute traces of evil here. But the effort should still be made to ensure that the evil is minimized, that the good is more and the bad is less. Naturally, in the present environment and atmosphere, you may not be able to succeed at the very first attempt. You must carefully think over the consequences of what you do, talk, or execute. That is the nature of this world. In fact, if you get caught up in good and bad, then you will never be able to get out of it also. Because the stream or river of karma flows deep. Gahana karmano gati. You will not be able to fully understand whatever you do. You do not know whether it will end up being something bad also or not. Because we have no control over how things shape and take and go into the future, isn't it? We can only deal with the present moment. But what we do in the present is what is going to influence the future, and you do not know. So sometimes it is impossible to separate good and bad. How do you do it? There's only one way. Whatever you do, remembering Him. Whatever you do, as in the spirit of dedication and service, offering it to Him, will become good. Even good, if you do without thinking about Him, there is no guarantee it will stay good. The fruits of those actions may become bad. Is it? You may go and help somebody. You may go and feed somebody. You do Narayana Seva. You go and set up a table in front of some station or some community center and give food to everybody who comes. The fellow who ate your food may go and commit a crime. And if he did not eat that food, he would not have had the energy to commit that crime. Thanks to your food that you gave only, he got energy to commit that crime. He went and mugged somebody. He went and bashed somebody. He went and killed somebody. Who's responsible for it? Can you simply say, I got good karma only by giving food to him? If by giving food you get good karma, then with that food what he does also comes to you. The sin of that also comes to you. Generally in our Shastras we say the Godana. Godana, not go and give dana, but giving cow away in dana. Go na cow. Gifting a cow, donating a cow is the greatest dana. It is a lot of punya associated with Godana. But they have a cautionary note. They say, you must make sure you know who you are giving the cow to. Plus, you have got to, when you give the cow, it is not enough to merely give the cow. You have to give enough money to buy food for that cow for 1 year. Because you have given the cow away, if the cow suffers in the hands of that person, then that sin will come to you. You may think, what is this business? I have given the cow. It is his. Nothing to do with me. No, it doesn't work like that. Karma doesn't like the work the way you want it to work. It works the way he has made it work. So, if you give the cow in charity and the new owner ill-treats that cow, you are responsible because you gave the cow to the wrong person. So like that, if you give food to the wrong person, then he may also do something wrong. Who to give food? How do we know who is good? Should we keep an eye on him? Should we get a written signs, declaration, statutory declaration? I will hereby not do any bad things after eating the food, at least until it digests. After 4 days, maybe I will do. You never know. So if you get into karma, you have to be very careful. Karma is very murky. It's like kurma it is. You will not know what you will encounter in it. You think, kurma is one of those mysterious marma things. It's a great marma because you sit down, you don't know what to expect in it. Some shape will be there. It will all be murky gravy. Some shape will pop up. What is this? This is a carrot. This is a beetroot. This is a potato. You do not know because everything goes into a kurma. The karma is also like that only. You don't know what to encounter. Punya will come. Papa will come. All kinds of things will suddenly crop up. What looks like punya will become papa. So what do you do? Remember the Lord. Do it for the sake of the Lord. Even punya, if it is not done remembering Him, can become papa, can become sin. Even sin, on the other hand, if it is done remembering Him, it will become punya. Mam anusmara yudhyacha naivam papam avapsyasi. Today Bhagavan says in the Gita to Arjuna, Arjuna, remembering me, you fight. Fight na, chuma na verbal argument, no. Arrows, go and arrows, so many people are going to be killed. But Mam Anusmara, Bhagavan says, you remember me, you do it as an action of dedication to me, then sin will not touch you. In whatever way you want others to honor you, or to love you, or to behave with you, the same way you should first behave with others and love and honor them. Then only will those honor you. Instead, without you yourself honoring or loving others, if you complain that they are not treating you properly, it is surely a wrong conclusion. In fact, that is how it usually works. That's how it usually works. If they are not treating you properly, the fault is lying with us only. We are the culprit. We are the ones that didn't treat them properly in the first place. And naturally, it's coming back to us. Besides, if those who advise others about which principles are right, which are true and good, which conduct is best, would only follow, if those who advise would only follow the advice themselves, then there will be no need to give advice at all. Others would learn the lesson simply by example. And rather than preach to everybody, you live it, you practice it, looking at you, they will themselves learn it. Instead, Vedanta, spoken parrot-like to others, without any attempt to put it into practice in one's own conduct, not only deceives others, but even worse, it deceives yourself. You must be as you want others to be. Again, Swami insists on this. If it is not the nature of the spiritual aspirant to search for faults in others and hide their own, if your faults are pointed out to you by someone, don't argue and try to prove that you are right. Nor should you bear a grudge against them for it. Reason it out within yourself. How is it a fault? And set right your own behavior. Rationalizing it to your own satisfaction or wreaking vengeance on the person who pointed it out, these are not the traits of a sadhaka. Somebody points a fault in us, we immediately become upset or defend ourselves and argue. This is the common defensive mechanism that all of us have evolved. But as sadhaka, Swami says, take some time, take a moment, don't immediately react, think a little bit about it, what they are saying, is it right or wrong? If it is right, then you go and analyze and find out, okay, how do I correct myself? If what they are saying is unjustified and unfounded, you just leave it. No need to argue with them. No need to prove it to them that no, you are wrong. They are saying, no, you are wrong. Okay, fine, so let it be. Let me be the one that is the bad person. That's fine. Because you know you are not the bad person. So when you are not bad, what is wrong in accepting? Okay, let it be. In fact, it gives you vicarious joy. It actually gives you vicarious pleasure. Fine, no problem. Yeah, it's me. Because you know it's not you. So very happily you can say, yeah, sure, it's me. Yeah. The sadhaka should always seek the truthful and the joyful, and must avoid all thoughts of the untrue, the sad and the depressing. It's very, very important thing. Already we've spoken about it, but Swami is reiterating it. He's coming back again. You must focus only on the truthful and the joyful. Just because you're focusing on the joyful, you should not focus on the untrue. That's also important. Yeah, Brenda. There's so many things in this world can give joy. But already we've been cautioned about it. Don't give in to the desires for the evanescent world. Because these things give joy. Oh, Swami said be joyful. So I have to keep eating joy ice cream. To be joyful. Full of joy ice cream. Truthful also. Find joy in the Sathya Vastu. Find joy in the truth. Truth is God. Find joy in spiritual things. Be joyful. But at the same time, avoid all thoughts about those things that are untrue, sad and depressing. Truth, the highest truth is never sad and depressing. Untruth is sad and depressing. World sorrow and depression is there. Isn't it? Something or the other is always there in this world that can cause sorrow to us. Not only that, a lot of people have this mood swings. Now it is a fashionable thing also to have mood swings. Not just women, men, children also. Everybody have mood swings. They don't know about it. They'll become upset. Why upset? Why are you upset? Because you are thinking, something triggered. See, something triggered. Somebody's statement, some thought, some speech by somebody, some dialogue, something triggered it. And the people have become upset. But why? Because they are not able to get out of that thought. They are constantly thinking about the same thought. That is what Swami is saying here. You be conscious to avoid the sad and the depressing. If you find something is giving sorrow to you, why do you want to think about it? What is wrong with you? No? Sometimes when you look at all these people, you think Ashwin should be a millionaire. Or Ashwin is a psychiatrist. Because people are all mental cases. They wallow in sorrow. This thought gives sorrow to me. Now we identified this gives sorrow. Come now, let's spend the next 4 hours just on that. And even if somebody comes and tells us, hey, no, leave me alone. I would be sad. How many we are sad? Yes or no? Even when somebody comes and cheers us up, don't worry. You don't know anything. You go. You don't know anything. You go. That's what people say, isn't it? When they are sad, sorrow is a very unique thing. One thing it always does, it gives us a legitimacy. Sorrow somehow gives us a fake legitimacy. The moment we are sad, we feel we are right. And everybody else is wrong. We feel we are right. Somebody comes and says something when we are sad, they are wrong. Go, you don't know anything. You don't know what I am going through. Accordingly, they might say, all this is stupidity. All this is foolishness. If you are sad, you must do everything possible to get out of sorrow, not go dig deeper into sorrow. Isn't it? Of course, I am talking about sensible people. All this is only applicable for, as Swami says, sadhakas, that group of sensible people. If you are an idiot, none of these will apply to you. Because if you are sad, sadness can come to everybody. We are not already perfect so that we can bear sukha and dukkha the same. You may be afflicted by sorrow. Something may happen, it may touch you. On other days it may not, one day it might. Even if it does, even if you fall down we are walking and you fall down into slush, what do? You are careful, you are walking, but you fall down into that slush. What do you do now? Do you make angel wings in the slush? Huh? Do you lie down and make yourself more comfortable in that slush? Do you not jump up immediately and get out of it or ask somebody to help you out of it? Ordinary slush will go away when you take a bath. You'll become purified. But the sorrow, when you fall into that kind of slush, you are willing to get out, asking for help to get out. Immediately you want to get out. But when it comes to your sorrow and grief, you wallow in it. You absolutely wallow in it like a pig wallowing in dirt or a buffalo wallowing in the swamp. And then we complain, no progress in spirituality. How will you progress? You have to get out of this cesspit first. Staying in that and making angel wings. Look at me. Self-pity. Another worst enemy. Oh no. Poor me. Look at me, poor me. There's no poor you. If you say poor you, then poor you only. No poor. No papa. No sin. Be happy. Be cheerful. God is there to make us cheerful. Like I said yesterday, if you're feeling sad, sing a bhajan. Sing a bhajan. But make sure that if you're a good singer, then okay. If you're not a good singer, then don't make anybody else sad. So go separately into a room and then you sing. Otherwise, you will get out of your sorrow, everybody else will be plunged into sorrow. That is also not right. You sing a bhajan. You read something about Swami. You read something spiritual. You do japa. If nothing else, you run, do exercise. Do physical activity. Get out of your sorrow somehow or the other. Don't sit there like a sack of rotten potatoes, giving away a stink, an aura of stink and gloom and doom to everybody, and sit there and sulk. Never do it. You have no right to pollute the atmosphere in this manner. Be happy. Be cheerful. Find ways and means to be cheerful. Laugh otherwise. Depression, doubt, conceit. These are like Rahu and Ketu to the sadhaka. Rahu and Ketu are like the comets that come and eat up the sun, we say. The sun of happiness is devoured by, eclipsed by the Rahu and Ketu. What is this Rahu and Ketu? Doubt and depression. When one's devotion is well established, then these things can be easily discarded even if they appear. Otherwise, they will harm one's sadhana. When you're sad, can you do your sadhana? Your usual practice every day, maybe 9 o'clock you will do some meditation. But if you're sad at 9 o'clock, today I'm too sad to meditate. Then how will you get out of your sadness? Today I'm too sick to take medicine. It is like that. Today I'm too hungry to eat food. Forget it, I'm too hungry, I can't be eating food. How is that possible? Like that, I'm too sad to do sadhana. Sad hana. What is sadhana? Sad hana. Hana, abdina, that which kills in Sanskrit. Sad hana is sadhana. Kill your sorrow. That is what is sadhana. So make sure that you never let go of your sadhana. No matter what spiritual discipline, it is important. Above all, it is best for the sadhaka to be joyful, smiling and enthusiastic under all circumstances. Joyful, smiling under all circumstances. Be enthusiastic. Enthusiasm should be there for serving the Lord. Be ready. If you are sitting there in sorrow and the Lord wants some service out of you, how will you be able to get out and do things for Him? You'll be sitting and sulking. Isn't it? Is He not watching us? Is He not constantly watching us? Then do we need to show our sulky self to Him? Show your silky self to Him, not sulky self to Him. Have a nice smile, cheerful, happy, blissful smile on your face. He is Anandamaya Bhagavan. So you should also be an Anandamaya sadhaka. Even more than bhakti and jnana, Swami says, this kind of an attitude is desirable. This attitude is desirable. There are people, they may not be spiritual, but they are happy people. Happy people, joyful people. No matter what happens, they will say, nah, it's okay, it's all fine. Doesn't matter. They are not big tapasvis or sadhakas, but they are happy. Happy-go-lucky type in Shivua. It's a blessing to be born like that. On the other hand, you find sadhakas who are immediately the slightest wind, they will be plunged in belief. How can that fellow be called sadhaka? Happy, cheerful, smiling. See, you come and listen to me, give a discourse. If I am sad, this quality of joy at all times is the fruit in the past verse. Person who's ever worried and depressed. If I speak like this, how will it be? The moment I see you all, I give you a big, beautiful smile. Does it not make you happy? No matter what I have, I am sitting here and giving you a smile, is it not? I have nothing, I have only God. That's a different story. But if I sulk, then how is it? All of you who know me, have you ever seen me with a sulking face? I have seen you with sulking faces. I have always been good to you. You have not always been good to me. I have always shown you a smile. You have not always shown me a smile. You owe me a lot. Always have happiness. Always be blissful. Adivay, Swami Cholra, that itself is Purva Janma Sukrutam. The quality of joy at all times is the fruit of good done in the past. Purva Janma Sukrutam Allah. Otherwise, it is not possible for us to be happy like that. Be happy. Smile even if it pains you. Smile even if the muscles ache, you smile. Doesn't matter. Do you know what will happen if you keep smiling? Face will be young. Old age comes because the mouth droops. When you're young now, mouth doesn't droop. It's very firm. The flesh in the face is very firm. And so everything is upward pointed. And slowly when you reach about 35, 40, it becomes flat line. Then after that slowly it starts to droop, the corners will droop. And that is a sign of old age. So if you want to avoid old age, smile. Because when you smile, forcibly you're pushing it up. It's best exercise. Facial exercise for youthfulness in the face. Keep smiling. Even if you're sad, remember, no, this is my youthful exercise. The moment you put a smile on your face, you cannot be sad. You try it. You will start laughing. You feel like laughing. Isn't it? Tell me. You try, experiment it and see. The moment you go, you will feel like something funny will happen. Kutuhalam will come into you. See, some people are refusing to do even after I say it. In front of me only they are sitting. No one to. They think they will lose some father's property if they smile. It's only a smile. But don't smile like the Western smile. That is dentist smile. They are making you smile like that so the dentist can make money. Show your teeth and smile. You don't have to show your teeth and smile. Just smile and see. In India we have a lot of smiles, but nobody goes to dentist. Because if you open our teeth and show the smile, it will not be a smile. It will be something else. We are taught, when you are young, we are taught, don't show your teeth. Smile without showing your teeth. Because parents never took you to dentist. There will be all shapes and forms it will be there. It will be like all the different Aksharas who sat around Sita in Lanka. One will be like this, one will be like that, there will be a gap like this. So what? Teeth are only for eating, chewing, no? To smile, only lips are enough. You don't have to show your teeth and smile. A person who is always worried, depressed and doubting can never attain bliss no matter what sadhana he does. Swami is categorical in this. Even if you do sadhana, you will not be happy. You will do sad sadhana. Dukkatoda sadhana. He is not happy, he is not willing to smile. How can he be happy? So always worried, depressed, even sadhana will not be effective. The first task of a sadhaka, a spiritual aspirant, is the cultivation of enthusiasm. Through that enthusiasm, ananda can be acquired. Gala 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 nirupanu shalva. Sribala gala gala nirupanu. Gala gala is rich and happy all the time. When you are with them, you are also happy. Cheerful sorts they will be, laughing and joking. Even if they are not making joke, they will laugh, they will have a smile, cheerfulness in their face will be there. Sorrow will not come to those people. Sorrow itself will be afraid of them. It will run away after looking at them. It will not come near them. There are others who will cry for everything. Then there will be more reasons to cry for them. Be happy, be cheerful, have a smile on your face even if it is hard. Gala 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 narma. So, through that enthusiasm, you can attain ananda, bliss can be attained. A person who is ever worried and depressed cannot make any spiritual progress. Doubt. Worry, depression and doubt. The doubt, some people have got like worms in their brain constantly gnawing, eating. Face will be cloudy. Face will be cloudy because they are always over-analyzing, over-contemplating. Something they are thinking inside. And what if this is wrong? What if I do something wrong? What if it becomes like this? What if it is like that? So what if it is like that? Be cheerful. We will face it if it turns out like that. If it happens like that, we will do something about it. Why before itself be so worried that you don't even engage in action? Worried that the action will be wrong. These are all drawbacks, these are all shackles, these are all chains that are holding you back in your free run towards Paramanandika Prasthana. In the journey towards Ananda, these are all chains that are holding you back. Your own doubt and depression. Never get inflated when praised by others and never get deflated when blamed by them. Be a spiritual lion regardless of both. Analyze yourself and correct your faults. This is most important. Now, Swami says, now, one has to be careful even in matters relating to Bhagavad Sakshatkara, the realization of God. Some important points here Swami is listing out for us. And listen to it attentively. Whatever inconveniences one may encounter, one must try to carry on sadhana without any break or modification in the disciplines. Every day, if you are setting out some time to do some special spiritual practice, some japa, some yoga, something you are doing, no matter what inconveniences are there, you must not let go of it. Because the moment you let go of a discipline, it will snowball. It will be very hard to bring back the motivation to do it again. You may leave it for many times. I have myself seen this. Your routine will be there. Then you have a travel. You go for 2 days, 3 days, somewhere, come back. It will take you a week to get back to the routine. The travel, difficult times were all different, tired, jet lag, sleep, something or there's some excuse people give. And as a result, what will happen? We will simply let it go through our fingers. Then next day also will be the same thing. Next day also, finally it will be a long time before you take stock and restart. How much time we lose? Not only do we lose time, more importantly, you lose momentum. That is even more of a loss. Momentum or speed. With a speed, we are doing things. Without a rush, without enthusiasm, we are doing. When you stop, then enthusiasm will slowly fade. Then even when you restart, it will not be at the level that you were enjoying previously. Like this, so many starts and stops we have. This is also something that is very important for sincere sadhakas to recognize. No matter how difficult it is, find some time to do what you have committed yourself into doing. Whatever inconveniences one may encounter, one must try to carry on the sadhana without any break or modification in the disciplines. No modification. I do 4 things, today I would only do 3 or only do 2. And then the mind will catch hold of that as an excuse. Have you seen small children? One day if you tell them, okay, today you just do 2. Next day, yesterday you said 2 is enough. Why today? Yesterday you said 2 is enough. They'll point it out. Mind is like that. Once you give a bit of concession to it, it will catch hold of that concession as though it is its right. It was an exception. It will make it the rule. Now 2 is enough. Many of you would have encountered this kind of a drawback in whatever sadhana that you have. Arambha Shuram irukum. Of course, you'll have a great vigor in the 108. Again, you will start. It will be better to start with 2 and build up to 108 rather than start with 108 and never go beyond 4. Koncha better. Baby steps itself is better rather than biting more than you can chew. So first one Swami says here, you should not modify or give up the spiritual practice. Second, one should not be changing the name that one has loved and cherished and selected for Namasmarana. Concentration is impossible if the name is changed every few days. Few days Ram, Rama is boring. Krishna, Krishna. Hey, Krishna is not boring. Some Govinda, that is also boring. Go back to Rama. For japa, when you take up a name, that is the name you should stick to. He has so many names, you can call out all the other names also. We are not singing same name for bhajans. Bhajans are going on. But you may have one name only, Ishta Devata name. That doesn't mean rest of the bhajans you keep quiet. Not my name. Swami has said don't chant any other name. It does not mean don't chant any other name. You understand it correctly. Swami is not saying don't chant any other name. Sure, other name comes, you should keep quiet. for your japa purpose, don't keep changing it. Whatever you have taken, you stick with it, because only that will give rise to that level of concentration. Mind will not attain one-pointedness if this kind of change happens. All sadhana ultimately has one-pointedness as the goal, as the aim. Therefore, avoid constant adoption and rejection of names and forms of the Lord. One single name must be used throughout for repetition of japa and dhyana. One must have the strong conviction that all the names of the Lord and for names and forms are His only. But the one that you have chosen is the one that you keep for repeating. This is what I just now said. Doesn't mean you should not chant the other names. All names are worth repeating now. But there is one name that you have chosen. And the name da vachikkanum. Taking all worldly losses, sufferings and worries as merely temporal and transitory, and realizing that all this repetition of the name and meditation is only to overcome such grief, the spiritual aspirant should keep the two things separate without mixing up this and that. The aspirant must understand that loss, suffering and worry are external, belonging to this world, and that the repetition of the name and meditation are internal, belonging to the realm of love for God. This is called chaste devotion, pativrata bhakti, avyabhicharini bhakti, Bhagavan explains in the Gita. The other variety, where the spiritual aspirant selects one name and form and after some time discards them for another name and form, is called vyabhichara bhakti, unchaste devotion. See, the reason why this happens, you should understand why Swami is speaking about it in this context. Worries, sufferings, losses and nama. Why bring these two together? Because sometimes, people may chant a name. They'll say Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Then they will say, chanting Krishna name always brings sorrows. I better give up Krishna name, I'll do Rama name instead. That is not right. That is where Swami is saying, keep the two separate. Krishna Nama Smarana is not the source of sorrow. Source of sorrow is from the world. Nama is within. Don't bring the two together. Don't change the name because of that. Don't change the God because of that. I worshipped Swami, but I didn't get any relief from it. Maybe I should go somewhere else. Many people will wander. That is what is called as Vyabhichara Bhakti. Unchaste devotion, because your bhakti is not for the sake of the Lord, it is only for the sake of some solution to the problem. So you are wandering around finding out who can solve the problem for you. If not you, then somebody else. See, all names and forms are His only. The uniqueness here. In the world, one fellow is not able to solve my problem, I'll go to somebody else. That person is different, this person is different, they're two different people. That's a different story altogether. Here is the same person. Same God. So no matter what name I call, should he not understand that I'm still calling him? Why should he call this unchaste devotion? That is because in your mind, the reason why you are changing is unchaste. Why are you changing the name? When sorrow and suffering is coming and you think that this form and name of God is not helping you, and if you change the name and form because of that, Swami narrated that story. I remember 80th birthday. A story of this man who had difficulties. So he went to the astrologer. Astrologer said, you worship Ganesha. So he started doing Ganesha Puja. But problems still didn't go away. So another astrologer said, you are worshipping wrong person. You worship Narayana. So then he put Ganesha in a cupboard and worshipped Narayana. And still did nothing, no problem was solved. Then he went and asked another fellow, he said, oh, this is wrong, you should worship Devi. So he put Narayana also in the cupboard, locked it and worshipping Devi. This is Vyabhichara Bhakti. Now the God is not important. Solution to the problem is important. Whichever God is handy, whichever God will help me, I will worship that God. That is God for hire. It is merely God for hire. That is not the chaste devotion the Swami is talking about here. Chaste devotion, or name, or form, Swami. Don't go shopping. Don't go deity shopping. Some people do doctor shopping. But don't go deity shopping. All deities are the same. But why are you shopping? If all deities are the same, why can't you stick with the one that you've already chosen? Why shop? If you know everything is the same, then why not stick with this itself? There also there is no validity to change. On the other hand, if you are changing because you don't know that everybody is the same, this one is not working, therefore that is also not right. Changing the name and form is not a fault if it is done out of ignorance, but having known once that it is wrong and harmful, and after continuing repetition of the name and meditation on one form and name faithfully, subsequently changing them is certainly wrong. Sticking faithfully to the name and form is the highest vow, highest tapas. Even if elders advise you, don't give up the path approved by your own mind. Of course, which elder would suggest that you should change the name of the Lord and give up the name that you adore? Those who tell you like that, consider them not to be elders but dullards. They are not elders, they are only idiots. So ignore them. And if they are true elders, they will not give you that kind of information. Similarly, as far as possible, see that the time and place chosen for meditation and repetition of the name is also not changed or shifted. For example, while traveling, keep the time unaltered even if you have to necessarily change the place. At the specified time, at least recall to the mind the meditation and the repetition of the name done at the same time as usual in the past. Even if you are in the railway station, a bus, or some other inconvenient surroundings, in this way, accumulating spiritual wealth, one can surely become the master and attain the Atma. Here we will stop for today. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tatsam Shri Sai Ishwara Pranamastu.